we'll move on to the next game then. Fremantle and North Melbourne. This one's live on Fox Sports. It's the twilight game, of course. Fremantle red-hot favourites, and why wouldn't they be? They've won 7 games and just lost the 2 this year. Silvani out with that ankle, De Boer, Robertson and Pearce along with Shammer, all of those into the squad. Wouldn't think they'd make too many changes here, Colby.
Sunday home game, and they've only lost one this year, but geez, they've been impressive. The fact that this team is now winning away from home, wet, slippery conditions in Sydney. Normally you just give the game away and say Freo, Sydney would have won that easy. They've been outstanding. Hazelby's new role, he's gone with a run-with type role to in this side, which has been exceptional throughout the year. The usual suspects, Sandilands, Barlow, Mundy, McPhee, Tarrant, they've all been very, very good, and they're playing very well as a team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this game, I'm going over there with you, BT, and I think they will definitely win.
Yep, but well, look, they've won 7 games already, and if you take a look at their run over the next 7 weeks, it looks pretty good for them because they play a number of teams. I won't say they play the bottom teams, but they certainly play teams that 12th, 15th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 16th and 9th.
6 wins at least.
There's their next 7 games. I mean, all of a sudden they've qualified for the finals come round 17, 18.
And of those teams, how many of them did we have in our 8 at the start of the year?
Yeah, exactly.
3 of them I can think of.
So they are September bound, as the heading says there. Let's take a look at the North Melbourne lineup and see what they've got, Pickers, as we take a look at their ins and outs, of course. For this game, they are 4 and 5. Wells out with a groin, McIntosh, Hale, Norris and Petrie all added to the squad.
Yeah, going to Subiaco without Daniel Wells is not ideal. But the 3 big blokes, great to see Drew Petrie back in the team. He's critical for that side. Andrew Swires had a very good year, leading the contested possession count at the club by about 16. The problem is their ball use has been putrid in the last 5 weeks. They're averaging 68 points against per game. So 68 points they're giving to the opposition in turnovers. So that's an area they need to get a lot better at. They're going to find it really difficult to beat Fremantle over there on Sunday.
Who wins it, Pickers?
They're going to find it really difficult to beat Fremantle over there.
Do they definitely win it?
Oh, Fremantle win easily.
Yep.
The doubters are suddenly joining me, taking you a long time to get on board, a long time.
I was there from the start.
Colby?
Yep, Freo by 34 points for me.
OK, so there you have it. Freo going to get across the line, and that game live and exclusive on Fox Sports over there as well.
A tough trip, I would suggest, for the Kangaroos over to Freo.
Now, if you believe the girls from Sex and the City, size does matter.
Oh no.
Does it matter for North against Fremantle?
Well, of course it does matter, considering they've got the best ruckman and the biggest ruckman in the competition. You need all your big guys up and firing. David Hale shows you his importance last week when they've got young kids up forward who didn't know or didn't understand or show an understanding of how to stay close enough to goal to be dangerous. One thing Haley can do is play deep. He's not a superstar, but he does know how to play close enough to goal to kick you 2 or 3 a week. So he is an important in. Drew Petrie, heart and soul player of a footy club. Good to see him back, can play both ends of the ground.
Tough to I know you've got to make a comeback at some point in time, but for Drew Petrie, it's a tough place, Fremantle, to make a comeback. He played plenty of football there.
Drew Petrie's got a great win tank. Now, first week back for him, of course, that's not going to be his strong point. I would suggest he's going to be rotated a fair bit and probably play about 60% of the game. But he's got a fantastic running capacity for a guy that's 6'6". And if he is playing, it would be interesting to see because, let's be honest, 4-hour flight, guys coming back after a nasty injury, as you mentioned, it's not ideal.
I am not suggesting that he's going to play this week because he's only interchanged from. I thought Fremantle had moved on from Byron Shammer. Byron Shammer gets a fair bit of the ball. He slaughters most of the ball that he gets. And this year, Fremantle, I'm not blaming Byron Shammer for sins of days gone by, but I just think that they've moved on from him. He's still thereabouts. Do you think that Fremantle should tamper with their current system and put a Shammer in?
No, not at all. I wouldn't be tampering with it. The only reason maybe he comes in is if Morabito is having a rest. He's another young player that's had a lot of football this season, Finey, and the club might be saying, all right, well, we need to bring in someone who can play those sort of positions. But no, I agree with you. Shammer, he may have played some good footy in the waffle, and it might be a bit of a pat on the back to say, you're in the squad, but keep at it.
And you know what I really like? Fremantle, I guess it comes with, it's the benefit of having a team that's up and running. They're 7-2. The list is going really well. Their youngsters are playing well. But, Kepler Bradley, much maligned Kepler Bradley, he's come in this year. He's played some decent footy. And I reckon he stays there for the rest of the season. I reckon there's a spot for him. And that to me is a sign of a team that's going well, where they can take an experienced player, put him in and get the best out of him.
Yeah, that's a pretty good call, Finey. Listen, Fremantle are going very, very well. The footy they're playing is great. You know why? They're putting so much pressure on the opposition. For so long, Fremantle have been the team that hasn't put enough pressure on the opposition consistently. This year, they're one of the best teams from kicking goals against turnovers, for making turnovers and kicking scores against them. And, their senior players like Pavlich and Sandilands, they're actually blossoming because they're getting support from the rest of the football club. Just off the SMS, McIntosh is a better ruckman than Sandilands. Turn it up time. I never said that. Please listen in. I said Sandilands is the best ruckman in the competition. North are going to need all their giants, so please listen in. That's incorrect.
Now, we talked about A-graders earlier on in the program, Melbourne. Fremantle have two clear A-graders, A-pluses, in Sandilands and Pavlich. Do you agree with that?
Oh, totally, yep.
Have they got any other A-graders? Because I reckon now they do.
Chris Tarrant is.
Yeah, great call.
Chris Tarrant is an A-grade footballer at the moment. Just looking through the list, well, Michael Barlow's a B+. Give him time. If he keeps improving, he'll be an A-grader as well. They've got a lot of guys like Chris Mayne that have been really giving them a lot of consistent performances, Finey, and also a guy like Stephen Hill. He's an outside footballer, but so damaging. So where you rate him, I just think he's so important to that football club. But they're getting consistent performance from a lot of players.
It's interesting. They had two players that probably could have filled similar positions at the start of the year, and they are Chris Mayne and Ryan Murphy. Now, with Ryan Murphy, you get a beautiful kick, Ryan Murphy, very accurate when he gets the ball, but not necessarily the most fearless presenter in AFL football. Chris Mayne is more likely to give the ball a bit of a scragging. You know, he's more than likely to hook one, but boy, he presents. And that, I think,
very hard.
And that sums up Freo this year a bit, doesn't it? Go hard, get him.
Yeah, that's a great call, and that's the way they're playing. Someone off the SMS saying they're about to fall away. I just can't. They've proven themselves. They're winning on the road. They're playing consistent footy. I can't buy into that.
Tomo, Freo for you?
Yep.
Freo for me.